Hey guys, this is Sonali, the melodramatic bookworm. Welcome back to my channel. I'm going to be doing my very first book review on YouTube today, and the book is Happiness is All We Want by Ashutosh Mishra. What better than a book on happiness to kick off my book review section of my channel? So let's get started. Happiness is All We Want is exactly what the title promises. It's all about how to gain happiness, which is very difficult to come by in this time and age given the stress levels, the pollution levels, everything. I mean, there's a lot going on for each of us and there's a lot to balance, and how to come by that happiness in all of this chaos is this book. This book tells you what to do. Ashutosh Mishra has very cleanly told us, sectioned the book into three parts. The three parts which you need to gain control on if you want to gain happiness. And these three parts are your own mind, body and soul. And every part in the book correlates with one part of yourself, and which tells you how to gain control over it and how to gain happiness through doing that. So for example, if you're talking about the mind, all you need to do to gain happiness, gain calm in that part is you do yoga, do meditation, go for Reiki self-healing, prayers. And it's not all that you have to do, because it's not a small deal. It's a very big deal for you to actually have control over it, to go through with it and have control over it. So that's the mind part. Coming to the body part, it's all about exercise. You can either go to the gym, you do it at home, or you get a fitness trainer at home or in the gym. Do anything. Any sort of exercise is required for your body, and that is how you will gain control of your body, and body wise, that's how you will get happiness on your own. And then there is the soul. For the soul, there's spiritual upliftment or spiritual awakening. So that is how you are going to gain happiness through your soul. So if you're not going to get that, that's what the author says. He says that your happiness will be incomplete. So you need to balance these three in order to get your proper happiness quotient that you can carry on for the rest of your life. There are 5 things I didn't like about Happiness is All We Want. The first and most important thing being the minute print. I'm giving a disclaimer here. It's not the author's fault, of course. There's nothing he can do about it. But I'd say the publisher, Bloomsbury, of all the publishers, you should know that if you're going to be publishing a book about health, at least make it easy on the eye. Like, if you see this print, look at this print. It's not made for easy reading. It will take you a lot of strain. That's why it took me about over a week to finish this book, even though it had only about 200 odd pages. So that's the first point. And now I'm moving on to the author's part. The second point that I didn't like about Happiness is All We Want is that in cases it gets dragged out. Like, if you're telling me something in about 1 or 2 sentences, I'd like to think that you think of the reader as quite intelligent enough to understand what you're trying to say in those 2 sentences, and not drag it out in a couple of paragraphs maybe. So yeah, I cannot exactly pinpoint where and when this happened, in what parts of the book it happened, because once this started, I sort of zoomed out. The third part is this spiritual part of the book. I didn't quite sail through because I am not a spiritual person at all. Maybe I should be, given his explanation about how spirituality matters in gaining happiness for oneself. But that time has not come yet for me. So for me, that part was a little disconcerting and it didn't ring well with me. It didn't sit well with me. So the fourth part is, it gets contradictory. Like in the first section, in the mind, in which is talking about the mind, he tells us that you have to tell yourself that that you can do this, or you cannot do this, or you should do this and you shouldn't do this. But then when it comes to the soul part of the section of the book, he's going more on the lines of, if you say you are going to do this, then you will sound very selfish. So it sort of doesn't help us to make up our minds whether to follow this or this. Where are we going to hang around in the meanwhile? The last part is that in a few paragraphs, I found that if there are 5 sentences, there are most of them don't have the connection that is required for the flow. Like the first sentence is talking about something, then the second sentence is talking about something else, and so on. That was in a very few paragraphs in the whole book, so that's why it comes last. So yes, those are the 5 things I didn't like about Happiness Is All We Want. The things that I love about Happiness Is All We Want far outweigh those that I didn't like about it. And despite what I've already mentioned about it, about what I didn't like, despite the negatives, Ashutosh Mishra knows what he's talking about when he puts this book in front of us. The way he has poured in his thoughts, his experiences, make sure that we have a very balanced view of how we can gain happiness. It's no preaching, no sermonizing. He's given us everything that he has experimented with and has come across as to be true. So yeah, the first thing that he says that we need in order to gain happiness is to put ourselves first. Your happiness matters. If you aren't happy, how can you keep the people around you happy? That's the biggest part of Happiness Is All We Want that I love. He tells us how important it is to spend time with ourselves. Paying attention to ourselves is different, like exercising and eating the right food and so on and so forth. Spend time with yourself, inner self, understand yourself better so that you can eventually get to the point where you can say, yes, I am happy. So that's the second biggest point that I love about Happiness Is All We Want. Ashutosh Mishra has a good insight into what to eat and what not to eat. He knows what's good for the body, and he tells us in very simple words as to what to eat and what to avoid, so which will be beneficial to your health and eventually your happiness. So that's one of the biggest pluses of the book, that when you're looking for happiness, you also come across something that will help you maintain your diet and through that your happiness. So yes, in the book Ashutosh Mishra has given us, through practical tips, wellness and well-being stories and happiness moments, tech traps, smart well-being capsules and spiritual stories. Through these 6 little sections, he has told us a lot. For example, from the practical tips, he tells us what to follow and how to follow it. Through the smart well-being capsules are those activities that you need to do in order to gain happiness. Well-being stories are stories of those people who have done what they had to do and found the happiness and well-being that they were trying to find. Then there's tech traps. What happens when you get trapped in technology? So I don't need to say much about it. And then there are happiness moments and spiritual stories about how you find your spiritual self and how you gain happiness from there. There's only one thing I'll say about happiness is all we want, about why you should or shouldn't read this book, or how. If you have strong eyesight, go ahead, pick it up and read it, because it will help you understand how you can gain the purest level of happiness there is. I'll give Happiness Is All We Want 4 stars out of 5. The 1 star I'm bumping off because of the minute print. Bloomsbury, please take this into account and do something about the print. Many people are there who would benefit a lot from this book, and as an end thought, I just like to say thank you Ashutosh Mishra for getting in touch with me and giving me this beautiful book. I loved it and I hope you reach more people and gain your objectives. All the best. Hey guys, thanks for watching this video. Please like, share and subscribe if you like what you see. And stay tuned to the Melodramatic Bookworm, because I'll be coming up with a new review soon. Until next time, keep reading, keep watching and add melodrama to your life.